with the first one. Actually, it's a great news that SEPA has 4 new countries joined and available for the functionality. So it's Albania, Moldova, North Macedonia, and Montenegro. Right now, they given a possibility to execute single payment euro transfers. And what do you think about this, Dumitru?
Well, first of all, there is some emotional connections for me. Being originally from Moldova, I'm very happy that my country where I was born finally joins SEPA. I'm very happy also for Albanians, North Macedonians, and Montenegrins that they also joined SEPA. Finally, it's a real proof that these 4 countries are having a good path into European integration. It's a good signal for the economies, for the investors, that these countries are, on the path of integration, and soon the integration will happen. For me personally, it's a great news because just today I tested SEPA payment from Romania to Moldova and vice versa. It works perfectly. A little bit of delay, but generally it works. Low commission, so it's good. For business, for banking sphere, it's absolutely great because much more cash flow, much more money will come into SEPA, transfer into SEPA process, and this will allow to embed more economies, more businesses from these 4 countries into the European market. Will help to to grow the economy of the European Union, to sustain much powerful euro, and will give it's a good sign in this current times when not everything is clear till the end what will be in future. It's a good sign. It's a very positive sign for people from these countries that exist a future when everybody can join the European Union and things can go easier. Besides this, I think at least Moldova and maybe Albania also, they are joining very soon the one single custom union of European Union. So custom system. It's integrated with SEPA. So it's just a great signal for economies of these countries.
And I would say that we should not underestimate the economics effects and the soft power, because combining all the countries into one single economical area is important. But that shows that Europe is united, Europe is strong, and it gives really good possibility to those countries who are joined the SEPA. So it's a really great movement, and I think we should definitely celebrate it. And let's jump to the second news, I think. This week, we find out that Visa and Mastercard, they settled down with a quite big court case with the merchants, and it's about the chargebacks. And chargebacks is essential functionality of the networks. And what do you think about this news, Dumitru?
Well, it's a new case, unique from all the angles. I never saw a law case, where Mastercard or Visa or any other international payment system would be sued for chargebacks or the big amount of chargebacks. So basically, the topic is that retailers in some states of the United States think that Mastercard, Visa, so mostly Mastercard, they made some mistakes and errors in processing some transactions, and they canceled some transactions, or they made some chargebacks, refused some chargebacks, or made some chargebacks without deep analysis and deep understanding what's happening in reality. The fact that retailers, small retailers from different states of United States sued international payment system for such things proves the fact that when joint forces of small companies, they can defeat big colossus like international payment system. We here in Europe also have to think about this, because sometimes chargebacks are used as an instrument for manipulation from possible manipulation from international payment systems. Sometimes because of human errors, because of technical errors and bugs, chargebacks are not well controlled, not well researched. It's good that international payment systems have different tools for communication with the merchants and acquirers regarding the chargebacks. It helps us. The business help us to look on some details and find very quick solutions. But most of the cases, chargebacks cannot be tested, and they cannot be checked till the end, and it can provide some losses for the business. So honestly, this is a great result, great thing that exists a precedent. Maybe in Europe we will also start some investigations, and who knows what it will get us.
That's true. And maybe the last news for today, it's once again from United States, and the clearinghouse see the wide adoption of the bank account tokenization. And we are talking a lot about card tokenization. We are talking about the stable coins, but still there are banking rails, and there are still a lot of money movements across the banking rails within the countries. It's basically the veins and the blood of the economy. And that actually is really good move, because the clearinghouse in the United States highlighting that the tokenization is going to happen in ACH and also in RTP networks, which is a really good sign. So what are your thoughts, Dumitru?
I think we saw already something similar in different countries, maybe not at the level of tokenization like in a smart contracts. In Ukraine, there's Bank ID. In Estonia, something also similar. Clearinghouse, they didn't invent the wheel. They just take the best practice on the market. I mean, at least the expectations are that they'll take the best practice on the market. They will create the smart contract infrastructure, blockchain infrastructure for transmitting this information, because personal data right now is the real gold, is the new gold of our new reality. And transmitting the data from one side to another side, I mean, from one vendor, from merchant to acquire, from a vendor to another vendor, it implies some risks. With tokenization, it's much simpler, because, I mean, the data transmitting will be easier. Tokenization is very encrypted, as a good encrypted thing that will help to avoid, or to minimize at least, the amounts of frauds and the data stolen. Plus, it can simplify the verification process, the true status elaboration process on the side of a payment, on the side of a payer or the acquirer of merchant. I know exists different initiatives on the market. Right now, some of them are startups, some of them already passed some seeds or investments round, who also are developing different things and very similar things to Clearinghouse. But developing in a nutshell in-house such kind of a technology for Clearinghouse proves that all the startups that are around, and they are doing grosso modo the same thing, that their business model is can be scaled up, can be sold to big companies. And this can open a good, interesting opportunities for financing, for venture capitalists who are ready to invest in such kind of technology. This is absolutely great. I'm a huge fan of this thing. So this is why I'm just try to keep my face calm. But honestly, I would like to dance, because I'm super happy and super excited about this news. What's your thoughts about this, Igor?
It's quite complex topic, because I think digital identity, which you mentioned with Ukrainian Bank ID, and the tokenization with the blockchain, is maybe a little bit different and wider terms, because my vision is more connected to the tokenization that we see in card networks, because instead of providing the full PAN to the specific merchants, you are just having the tokenized version as Apple Pay and Google Pay, and then actually the information is not shared with the merchant, because they have some kind of allowance to read and exchange this token for the payment, but never touch the full PAN, which potentially is the same thing that the clearinghouse is highlighting. So maybe at some stage we will need to dedicate the episode of the Fintech Garden to discuss in details what is the difference between digital IDs as a digital identities, tokenization in cards, and tokenization in networks, and overall approach in blockchain for tokenizing and smart contracting the things. So it's really an interesting topic that is not possible to cover right now.
Totally agree. This shows the big interesting in fintech, which shows that, by the way, by now, till today in 2025, the total investments in fintech are around 31 billion euros, which is a great sum of money. And now Clearinghouse coming with this initiative will increase this number. Of course, exist different approaches. You can use Bank ID as in Ukraine or in Estonia or in other countries. You can use full tokenization. Sometimes you just need to send the token with a true false. Sometimes you need to send a token with a full identity. On the other side, the receiver side also has to validate this information. Different approaches, and I'm very happy that you proposed the new topic for our podcast, because this, by sure, will be a super interesting one, specifically for those who are in the industry and understand the substrates of this topic.
Yeah, that's true. And it's great to hear that the market is growing, and it's 17% more if you compare year to year previously, which is a good sign. Like, the markets are still quite cold, but it shows the momentum. There is a big belief in financial technology, into digitalization, which is not still finished.